many roads as there are travelers. Up to the mountain each man has a path.
Clay really is working with something that is alive, honestly. It works with you as you work with it. It's a living, breathing, not really breathing, but like interactive sort of material. It should be its own kingdom, in my opinion, but you know, I don't control those things, but yeah. 1, 2, 3, up!
Celine's been this great spirit that's shown up.
It's not a snake, it's a legless lizard.
She used to volunteer at the Wildlife Center when it was here, and I guess she was observing all of the things that we were doing, but we didn't know she was there. Yeah.
So he'll try to burrow back into the ground.
And then suddenly I got a letter from her at one point, a long letter saying all of these things that she would love to do at Wa Samaki, and she became the natural building teacher that we had on site because she fully immersed herself in all kinds of natural building projects that we had. This is a tiny house project that we're working on, and this is the forever home.
This forever home, it feels to me like when I think about it, I just think of community and family.
The shovels are there.
So this week, what we have been really doing is exploring clay and getting some really hands-on experience in working with this material. We're sharing those methods and techniques and experiences of working with it here and utilizing it to create a tiny house.
The human being, the human animal, we are elemental creatures. We are of the earth. So earth building is the coming together of the elements and community, essentially.
We did travel to Trinidad, especially to partake in the immersion.
Same. When you see the relationship you have with earth, building, so anything pertaining to earth, grounding, connecting with the earth, eating from the earth, the relation is already there. So it makes sense to actually have one that is covering or sheltering you in such a way.
So what does it mean to build and live with nature? And this takes us back to permaculture. Permaculture is about living on a site without destroying it and learning to live in balance with all the life that you're sharing the site with.
Earth building, it asks the question, what are we building with generally and why?
Earth building in particular has a lot less embodied energy in it compared to current ways of construction, and it's also traditional in terms of how we would have constructed buildings locally, historically. Yeah.
This is known to be one of the oldest original standing temples on the island. If we look closely, we can see that the walls are made from clay. We can only observe really from just like outside its gate.
We are in the Honey Hex, which is our earthen home at Wa Samaki. It is a hexagon-shaped tiny house, so it has a pretty small footprint. And then the roof is a reciprocal roof. Most of it is wood harvested from the farm, teak that we harvested from trees my dad would have planted 25 years ago.
A lot of the resources did come from the land. Apart from wood, there was obviously the clay.
A lot of recycled materials went into the house. Glass bottles, that's something that we really saw as a resource.
We're just passionate about the natural way of life. So the concrete and the paint is very toxic when it's closed up. And these things, they have a lot of underlying embodied energies. that we tend to look past, but at the end of the day, those embodied energies are leaching toxins in the air and doing a lot of things that we overlook very easily.
So a big part of what we're trying to achieve over here is building a house that looks fairly conventional. It's rectangular, it has the amenities in it. It's a small house, but it's comfortable. The teak is from the estate. The walls are made from a skeleton of wires that we just had on the farm that was left over from an old project that we recycled. We've dug the clay from just outside the window over there.
What am I seeing?
You're seeing deposits of clay. And it's perfect because it's just all clay. It should be able to be pliable, sticky, has a really nice elastic quality, and it holds its form. So that's how you know that it's like a really good material to work with. Yeah. Yeah, into the tub. So we need to add some water to this. And the longer we leave this bit of earth in this water, the better the material is for working with. Our three elements in our corbel involves clay, sand, and some sort of fiber. One of the fibers are vetiver grass, which is this plant. Another type of fiber that you can use would be rice straw, and also sawdust or shavings, which you can get at like any sawmill in your area. We've run tests on this particular clay body here, so we would add 1 part of clay to 2 parts of sand and get those two materials sort of integrated together really nicely, and then we will go in and add straw to it. So if you look here, you'll see that there is a nice combination of all those 3 ingredients in here. This would essentially be like your first stage of your wall, and then it would now move from this to this, which is your first layer in which you drape your cob over your inner skeleton. In other cases, if you use bamboo, you would then compact it within that space of the wattle that you've created. It needs to be completely dry for about, let's say, a week or so before you go on with your second layer. It'll move from this particular stage now to this stage of your thick paste plaster. In this type of construction, you can build it all by yourself too, but it might take a very long time. But how these builds work really is through like the community, or it's like a community-based build. Traditionally, amongst cultures all over the world, it would be a gathering of these embodied energies or people within the village or within a space that would come together collectively and build.
Earth building means a lot to me, to us.
For me, it's like regrouping community. It's not like a regular construction zone where you have a bunch of big machinery, you know, just a bunch of burly men or whatever. You could have kids around, and you could have old ladies around, and everyone could be helping.
Who goes to live in the tiny house now will have some of my energy in their house, and they'll have some of the other participants' energy, and the joy that we had making jokes and playing old calypso to chip in the mud and that kind of thing. That is the kind of embodied energy I want in my home, you know, and I would like to put into others' homes.
Doing the work here and seeing the structures go up and seeing the progression every day, it's taking it out of my head and making it real. And you can see that once you stick to it and you keep going, it's possible. Now, the possibility feels so real and so close that it's something I find myself daydreaming about.
So my advice for anyone who wanted to build something like this or do something like this would be to really take a good look at your surroundings where you want to do it. And you want to do a lot of research, obviously, about all the different types of ways to build earthen buildings, because no one way is the way and all the ways could be used together.
I literally had this whole house as a drawing on a piece of paper that I just drew in my free time, and now it's like just something tangible and something that we walk into every day and keeps us safe, and it really is just beyond words.
Though some roads may lead on a path so hard and steep, and though some roads are long and slow and leave scars on our feet, but though our paths may separate by the will and the hand of fate, well, every road must take us home where again we will meet. Yeah, every road must take us home where again we will meet.